Welcome, Muscle Factor Nation, to another deep dive. We're here to cut through the noise and get straight to the stuff that works. Today, we're tackling something huge, something you've been asking about: how to torch fat faster. We're diving into the science-backed guide to full-body workouts, our mission to really unpack the science from this great source. Full-body training burns more fat, backed by science.
Exactly. And, this isn't just some passing fad. It's a real shift in how we think about training effectively, especially for fat loss. For years, everyone was all about split routines, right? Chest day, leg day, hit one muscle group hard, then rest it for a week.
Yeah, the classic bodybuilder split. Monday's chest, Tuesday's back. We all know it.
Right. But the science, well, it's starting to point strongly towards full-body training being maybe more efficient, certainly very effective for burning fat. So today, we'll get into why it's gaining ground. We'll look at the actual mechanisms behind it, the real science.
Makes sense. So let's start right there. For anyone new to this or maybe just stuck in those old split routines, what is full body training? How's it different?
Good question. Basically, full-body training means you're hitting all your major muscle groups: legs, back, chest, shoulders, arms, core, all in the same workout session. And the key difference is frequency. You do this kind of session multiple times a week, usually maybe 2, 3, sometimes 4 times.
Okay, so instead of dedicating a whole workout just to legs, you're doing some leg work, some chest work, some back work, kind of the whole shebang each time.
Precisely. It's about stimulating more muscle across the body more often. Not completely annihilating one part, but consistently working everything.
And that leads us to compound movements, right? I hear those are crucial for full body workouts.
Absolutely crucial. They're the foundation. Compound movements are exercises that work multiple joints and multiple muscle groups all at once. Think about a squat versus, say, a bicep curl. A curl just hits your biceps, mainly moving the elbow joint.
Right, isolation.
Exactly. But a squat, you've got movement at the hips, knees, ankles. It recruits quads, hamstrings, glutes. Your core has to stabilize everything. It's a massive team effort. This recruits way more muscle tissue simultaneously, which means a much bigger energy demand.
Okay, so what are the key compound exercises we're talking about, the ones that make these workouts tick?
Well, the source highlights the big ones. You've got squats, like we mentioned, cornerstone for the lower body, but engages the core heavily too. Then there's the deadlift, often called the king. Hits pretty much your entire backside back, glutes, hamstrings, plus core, grip. It's incredibly demanding.
Yeah, deadlifts are like a whole body experience.
They really are. Then for pushing, you have push-ups or bench press. Great for chest, shoulders, triceps. And to balance that, you need pulling. So pull-ups or various rows, like bent over rows, essential for your back, biceps, and overall posture.
Balancing push and pull makes sense for avoiding imbalances.
Definitely. Bent over rows themselves are fantastic for building a thick back. And don't forget the overhead press or shoulder press. Builds strong shoulders and triceps. Finally, core work like the plank is vital. It stabilizes your whole body, supporting all these other big lifts.
Wow, okay, so combining those strategically, hitting them a few times a week, that's the core idea.
That's the core idea. It creates this potent systemic stimulus, usually 2 or 4 times a week, with rest days, of course. Recovery is key.
Right, and this is where it gets really interesting for fat loss, isn't it? Beyond just feeling like a tough workout, there's solid science explaining why this approach torches fat more effectively. So for everyone listening focused on fat loss, what's the science actually telling us?
Okay, so the science points to several key reasons why full body wins for fat loss. It's not just one thing, it's several mechanisms working together. First off, and maybe the most obvious, is just a higher caloric burn.
During the workout itself?
During the workout, yes, because you're using so much muscle mass at once. Think deadlifts again, that takes a ton of energy compared to just curling a dumbbell. But maybe even more importantly, it's the calorie burn after the workout, the afterburn effect.
Ah, EPOC, excess post-exercise oxygen consumption. I've heard of that.
Exactly. EPOC is your body working hard to recover and return to normal after intense exercise. It's burning extra calories to do things like replenish energy stores and repair muscle tissue. Because full-body workouts hit so much muscle and cause a bigger overall disturbance, they trigger significantly higher and longer-lasting EPPC compared to split routines. There was a key study back in, I think, 2016 in the Journal of Strength and Conditioning Research that actually showed this. Full-body workouts led to much greater EPOC.
So you're burning more calories, not just while you train, but potentially for hours, maybe even a day afterwards.
Pretty much. Your metabolism stays elevated longer. It's like your body's engine keeps running hotter for longer after you've stopped driving.
Okay, that's a big one. What else?
Second is frequent muscle stimulation. With a split, you might hit chest hard on Monday, then it doesn't get direct work again until next Monday.
Right, a whole week off for that muscle group?
With full body, you're stimulating those chest muscles, along with everything else maybe 2, 3, or 4 times a week. This frequent stimulus seems really important. A 2019 trial compared full body and splits, and even when the total weekly work sets and reps was the same for both groups.
Even with the volume matched?
Yes, even with equated volume, the full body group lost more fat. This really suggests that hitting muscles more often keeps your metabolism humming along more consistently throughout the week. It likely leads to a bigger cumulative calorie deficit and probably better muscle protein synthesis signals too, helping you build or keep muscle while losing fat.
That's fascinating. So frequency might be just as or even more important than hammering a muscle once a week.
It certainly seems that way for fat loss and overall body composition. Yeah.
All right, higher calorie burn, more frequent stimulation. What's next?
The third point is a greater hormonal response. Hormones, they regulate so much, including metabolism and fat storage. We're talking specifically about hormones like growth hormone, GH, and testosterone. They have muscle-building effects, but also fat-burning or lipolytic effects.
And full body workouts trigger more of these.
Yes. Because you're engaging so many large muscle groups with compound lifts, creating significant metabolic stress, it triggers a larger acute release of GH and testosterone compared to training smaller muscle groups in isolation. Now, these spikes after a workout are temporary, sure, but doing this multiple times a week, well, the cumulative effect likely creates a more favorable hormonal environment for losing fat and building lean tissue over the long run.
So you're basically priming your body hormonally more often to burn fat.
That's a good way to put it. And the fourth key benefit is improved insulin sensitivity.
Okay, insulin.
Yeah.
That's about blood sugar control, right?
Exactly. Insulin helps shuttle glucose, sugar from carbs, out of your blood and into your cells, especially muscle cells, for energy. Good insulin sensitivity means your cells respond well to insulin. Poor sensitivity or insulin resistance means glucose doesn't get cleared efficiently, blood sugar stays high, and your body's more likely to store that excess energy as fat.
Not good if you're trying to lose fat.
Definitely not. Full body training, by frequently activating all those large muscles, makes them hungry for glucose. They become more receptive to insulin signal. This helps regulate blood sugar, reduces insulin resistance, and makes your body better at using carbs for fuel or muscle glycogen instead of just storing them as fat. Consistent demand improves sensitivity over time.
Wow. Okay, so higher calorie burn plus afterburn, hitting muscles more often, better hormone response, and improved insulin sensitivity. That's a powerful combination.
It really is. It attacks fat loss from multiple angles simultaneously.
All right, the science is compelling, but let's get practical. How can our listeners actually put this into action? Let's break down a sample workout, maybe one for the gym first.
Sure thing. A typical gym-based full-body routine, hitting those compound movements, could look something like this. Remember, aim for 2-4 times per week with rest days. Always start with a good warm-up. 5-10 minutes of light cardio, then some dynamic stretches like arm circles, leg swings. Get the body ready.
Got it. Then the main lifts.
Yep. Based on the source, aim for something like squats. 3 sets of 8-12 reps. Focus on good form, chest up, core tight, bench press, or push-ups. 3 sets of 8-12 reps. Control the movement. Modify push-ups if needed. Bent over rows. 3 sets of 8-12 reps. Keep that back straight. Pull with your back muscles.
Okay, squats, push, pull.
Then deadlifts. The source mentions a strength scheme like 1 set of 5, 1 set of 3, 1 set of 1. But form is absolutely critical here. For many, especially beginners, maybe 3 sets of 8-10 reps focusing on perfect technique or starting with Romanian deadlifts might be safer and more effective initially. Don't ego lift on deadlifts.
Good advice. Safety first. What else?
Overhead press. 3 sets of 8-12 reps. Pressing weight overhead, keep the core braced. And finish with some plank holds. Maybe 2 sets of 30-60 seconds. Straight line, tight core. Then, of course, a 5-10 minute cool down with some static stretching. Hold stretches for the muscles you work.
Sounds solid. Any key things to keep in mind, especially for different levels?
Yeah, absolutely. Beginners should probably start with 2, maybe 3 sessions a week. Really focus on learning the form before adding weight. It takes time for the body to adapt. More intermediate or advanced folks can handle 4, maybe even 5 sessions a week if recovery is managed well. But for most people long-term, maybe 4 sessions a week is a sweet spot, like Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday.
And listening to your body is key, right? Don't push through serious pain or fatigue.
Crucial. Rest is when you adapt and get stronger. Ignoring fatigue leads to burnout or injury. Take extra rest if needed. And remember progressive overload. You have to gradually make it harder over time, more weight, more reps, harder variations to keep making progress.
Makes perfect sense. Now, before we move on, for everyone looking to really optimize their training, recovery, and nutrition around this full body approach, check out musclefactor.store. They've got premium gear, supplements, and expert resources to help you nail your goals. That's musclefactor.store. Okay, so that's the gym covered. But what about those super busy mornings, or when you can't get to the gym? The source mentioned a quick 15-minute bodyweight option.
Yes, perfect for kickstarting your day. It's a circuit. Do each exercise for 45 seconds, then rest for 15 seconds. Go through the whole circuit 2 or 3 times.
15 minutes, no equipment. Sounds doable. What are the exercises?
It's a great mix.
Yeah.
Start with jumping jacks, get the heart rate up, then bodyweight squats, focus on depth and form. Push-ups, modify on knees or incline if needed. Lunges, alternating legs, watch that knee alignment. Plank hold, keep everything tight. Mountain climber is great for core and cardio. And finish with glute bridges, squeeze those glutes at the top.
That hits everything pretty well in just 15 minutes.
Exactly. It shows you don't need hours.
Yeah.
Just consistent, focused effort hitting the whole body. Modify as needed, listen to your body, but it's a fantastic way to get that metabolic boost anytime, anywhere.
It really ties back to the science, doesn't it? Even short, frequent bursts of full-body work can make a difference. We hear from listeners all the time who switch and feel better, lose fat faster.
The real-world results really do match the science. People often report that faster fat loss, which makes sense given the calorie burn and metabolic effects. They also mention having more energy. Those shorter, frequent workouts can be invigorating rather than draining like some marathon split sessions.
Yeah, less of that can't walk for 3 days after leg day feeling, maybe.
Sometimes, yes. Which leads to the next point. Potentially improve recovery overall. Spreading the stress out means less extreme soreness usually, allowing for more consistent training. And finally, it's just more efficient. Hitting everything in one session saves time, potentially fewer gym visits needed, makes it easier to stick with long term.
That efficiency point is huge for sustainability. It all connects. The science explains the results people are actually feeling. It's that integrated effect you mentioned.
Precisely. It's the synergy. The higher burn, the frequent stimulus, the hormonal optimization, the better insulin sensitivity. They all work together. It's a holistic way to train for fat loss. The science is pretty clear. Full body training is a powerful, multifaceted strategy.
So the final thought for everyone listening, the evidence points strongly towards full body training being incredibly effective for fat loss and overall fitness. Think about it. What one simple change could you make this week? Could you try that 15-minute circuit? Or maybe swap one of your split days for a full body session. And don't forget to check out musclefactor.store for top-tier support on your fitness journey. Gear, advice, supplements, it's all there at musclefactor.store. Thank you so much for tuning into this deep dive, Muscle Factor Nation. We love digging into this stuff for you. A huge thanks for being part of the Muscle Factor family. Stay curious, stay strong, and we'll catch you on the next episode.